This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is proudly sponsored by Matt Norn of Remax Bell Park. And I have an open house coming up this Saturday, April 26th from 11 to 2. Check out my new listing at 39 Lads Road, Killingly in Zadora Heights.
Do you like front porch sitting? Well, maybe this house in Zadora Heights is for you.
For any questions at 39 Lads Lane, 860-428-6534. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt and Kyle Morrissey at the bench. Wow, really kind of screwing that up. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And this week we are proud to have Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience, and the founders of that, Ryan and Bradley O'Connor. Hey guys.
Hello. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. Didn't know who to speak first, so we let the one who was born first go first, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can talk. Besides, I before we get into this, I want to say very nice opening video there.
Oh, thank you.
You must have an in with this Matt guy that sponsored the show, don't you?
Yeah, we're a little connected.
Yeah.
The video is made by Stone Light Productions. Is Nate Rigorello, and he does a really good job.
Does really good work. Yeah, I worked with him a few years ago on something down in Putnam, and yeah,
oh, nice.
They do some really good work there.
Yeah. Him and his partner, they I don't know. He's really funny because I'll be like, "What do you want me to do?" In the beginning, like, "Oh, welcome and join me" or whatever. And he's like, "No, that's all old stuff, man." he's really good about keeping up with like how things should go now. With
And there's kind of a sci-fi thing going on there. Right? You're in the shot, and then all of a sudden you're like transported out of there as the drone's going into the house.
And that's the new thing to kind of get people's attention. You teleport.
Where'd he go?
He calls it teleporting too. So.
Well, you came to your basement. Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are now. No, shout out to him. He does a really good job with all that stuff. So, and you guys are you're a sound engineer, video engineer.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of everything. I'm a camera operator, an audio guy. I just got back from shading all the cameras at the start line of the Boston Marathon. It's been a long day today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you were saying you were up in Boston by 3:30.
Yeah, we were there yesterday for a set day, and then luckily they gave us a hotel, so it was only a 15-minute drive. But we were there all day yesterday, and then all day today for the actual race.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a total of 10 cameras. One of them was a drone, one of them was a chopper feed. We had 5 hard camera buildups and an RF handheld and a bunch of other feeds.
Wow.
And for those of you who do not know what he's talking about, this guy. Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, I'll say. we barely get these 5 cameras rolling every
Tonight
week.
we have 4.
I was going to say, where's number 5?
Well, it's over there, but it's
Gotcha.
There
Very-
are 4 lights.
That's a Star Trek reference.
We'll get there today too.
yeah, that 5th one over there is very finicky, so some weeks we don't even try. So and they stay put. I can't imagine what it's like to be on location all the time like that.
Yeah, like I said, one of the handhelds was an RF, so that's a wireless handheld. We have a company that we work very closely with called 3G. They do a lot of the NASCAR wireless rigs and large scale events, Super Bowl.
Wow.
So they will send a crew that just handles that RF configuration.
Yeah.
It's a little box that goes on the back of the camera, and then a secondary box that goes on top of the camera that allows me in video to actually shade the cameras. So as a video up, what I do is I take all those feeds in and I make sure that they're hitting the side of the truck and making it into the production environment. And then I look at all the cameras and I shade them so they all match. So if you're cutting between camera 1 and camera 2, for example, you want them to look the same. You don't want one to be very blue and one to be orange. You want them to have the same color, you want them to have the same black levels, and you want them to have the same iris settings. So basically, I'll take them and I'll make sure that all the irises are at legal limits, so they're not clipping or they're not too dark. I'll make sure that the black levels are set correctly, so it's not too dark and too posterized, or too gray, too washed out. And then I'll set all the colors so they match from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and I've got to match them across all of the cameras.
Wow.
At 3:30 in the morning.
At 3:30 in the morning. And then as the sun rises, you have to repaint them throughout the morning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think our cameras have that many settings.
Probably not.
Thankfully.
Did you realize you'd have Bob Ross on your show?
I got rid of the afro.
So obviously Comic-Con's not your job. So
No, it's not my full-time job, although this time of year it becomes a second full-time job.
For sure.
And we love talking about it. We love the show to begin with. That's why we put it on. But my primary full-time job when I'm not on the road freelancing is I'm the director of engineering for Connecticut Public Broadcasting. I oversee all of the CPTV transmitter sites,
Yep.
all of our studio spaces, all of the WNPR radio sites. So we have several different radio licenses that I manage and I oversee. And then we have our several studios located in Hartford that I also oversee.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yep.
And how about you? What do you do during the day?
Yeah, my 9 to 5. As much as I would like to say I'm a superhero, that's not the case. I work at down in New London at BMW of New London. I'm one of the sales managers down there, and
Oh, nice.
that's what allows me to afford having fun hobbies like the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk about the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi experience.
I like that segue right there.
That's why we're here.
How did the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi comic experience begin?
So, like I was just telling you guys off camera, it all started one fateful night, right after a Halloween party where somebody had been drinking and the other person was really tired. And then there was me. I wasn't even involved.
He's not far off from that statement. So, as I mentioned to you guys before, I'm not one to drink. I stick with my nice glass of water here.
Yeah.
But our cousin Ian Farquhar, who is the owner of Grill 37 in Pomfret, we had sat down after a fun time hosting his annual Halloween party, and I'd said to him, you know, it'd be kind of cool, something that doesn't happen around here. He goes, what? And I said, we should do a Comic-Con. He goes, that's a great idea. And I said, and this is back in 2019, by the way. I said, we should do it in January because nothing happens in January. He goes, I love that idea. Okay, so we start planning it. We planned it for January 25th, 2020.
Remember, it was October 31st, 2019, wanting to put on a Comic-Con in January of 2020.
We quickly realized why no one does anything in January. Having grown up here, I know what the winters can be like, but I still wasn't ready for all the no's. And you being in sales, you understand you got a lot more no's than you do yeses.
Sure.
But also being in sales, I wasn't paying attention to the no's.
Yeah.
And so with limited success, we were able to hold our first Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience on January 25th, 2020. We were touting it as the Comic-Con you'll be talking about all year. Little did we realize we'd be the only Comic-Con happening all year, basically, because do we need to go into detail as to what happened in March of that year?
I think we all remember.
Yeah. So, long story short, it was a success the first year. It was a small success, but it was a success nonetheless. And
For sure.
those who had come to the show, both vendors, exhibitors, and the patrons that had come to the show, had expressed interest in seeing it happen again. So we started planning year 2 for 2021. Uh, we had so many hurdles to get over because of, first and foremost, the state hadn't reopened yet from COVID-19. So we pushed it back to March, and the state was still closed in March. And we were working very closely, hand in hand, with the Northeast District Department of Health. What could we do? What can't we do? Literally, we were in Grill 37 with measuring tapes, measuring out 6 feet between tables, making one-way paths, and we were able to hold year 2 on May 1st, which was the first day that the state of Connecticut had reopened to indoor events.
Oh, wow.
And huge success. Everyone just wanted to get out. They
Right.
didn't care what they're.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
we could have been like showing them how to grow grass, and they would have come out to it. So huge success, and it's just compounded from there. We have had a great working relationship with Grill 37 since the first day that we came up with this idea, and it pained us to actually have to move locations, and it has nothing to do with Grill 37 other than we took up their entire restaurant,
Right. Yeah.
and
I
we were
remember last
costing
year.
him business
Yeah.
versus earning him business by
Right,
having the
right.
show there. So we love Ian at Grill 37. We love the whole crew over there.
Mm.
Anything better than the people is the food. We all can spend the rest of this time talking about how good the food is over at Grill 37.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, and fortunately, I can't say it in a negative context, because there's nothing negative about moving to the Woodstock Fairgrounds.
Right.
When Mark Allard had the conversation with us saying we're looking to do more during the year, we have this beautiful parcel of land that sits vacant for 361 days out of the year.
Mhm.
And we're like, well, let's see what we can do to utilize 2 of those days. Mark and
Well, first we said, what can we do to utilize it one day? And he's like, "Oh, Mark and Ryan are very similar in terms of if you say something, their wheels start turning really quickly.
Yeah.
And something small will become huge really quickly. And so Ryan and I said, well, let's see what we could do for one day. And Mark's like, 2 days it is.
I like it.
Brad works very closely with Mark Allard with his affiliation with the Woodstock Fairgrounds as well. So yeah, it worked out nicely when Mark came to our show last year. He looked at it and he said, "This is exactly what we're looking for. Not just that it's a Comic-Con, it's not just a convention style event, but we're highlighting local, like we
Right.
talked about. We had you guys at last year's show.
For sure.
It was so much fun having you guys there. We have the Chase Graphics podcast studio, which you guys fit in beautifully. We have the Brown Brothers
Yeah.
Haunting Hour.
That's where we met them, and we've had 2 episodes with them.
Yeah, I remember seeing your episode where you had them here for Halloween with
Yeah.
with Adam
Yeah.
from Chubby Dog.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to watch. You know, Adam is just a great character, isn't he?
He is. He's
He really is.
He's one of our sponsors too.
Yeah,
So we like to represent our
Is
sponsors.
he setting up a video game room or something?
Yeah, we have
Yep.
the Chubby Dog arcade area again this year, so we're excited to have him. And being at the fairgrounds, it gives us more space. So
Yeah.
he's going to have more room. His at his Putnam office, at the Putnam Chubby Dog, he has their Magic the Gathering group that always meets there. Dungeons and Dragons.
Hmm.
They're all coming to our show too, and,
Oh,
and
cool.
doing demonstrations
nice.
in the Chubby Dog arcade over the weekend. So
Yeah.
yeah, there hasn't been anything negative about moving to the Woodstock Fairgrounds. The amount of space we're utilizing, being in the ag barn, the huge ag barn that they have right there, it allowed us to double the amount of vendors that we can have in there.
Yeah.
And the whole point of starting this, other than being either a little bit inebriated or a little bit overtired or being Brad, we
Perfect timing.
yeah, exactly. The whole point of this was to promote local, talk about authors who are in the area. We have this lady here right in Danielson, just a few miles from where we're sitting right now, who writes amazing science fiction books. Her name is Sarah Crone,
Wow.
and she's going to be there. We have an author from Windsor who wrote this great 2-book series called the Witches of Windsor, and the first book is it's the Serpent's Staff or something like that. drawing a blank off the top of my head, and that's not in my cheat sheet over here.
Gotcha.
But Randy Goodwin is his name, and I read both of his books basically a night each.
Wow.
They're gripping, they're amazing, and very few people realize that 40 years before the Salem witch trials, here in Connecticut, we had our own witch trials, and that's what it's a young adult work of fiction, but he takes present day action and integrates the history of the witch trials that happened starting in Windsor, and makes it a very interesting story. Those are just two of the many guests that we have coming to this year's show that are local, and we get to promote local, which I love doing.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. That's what we're all about here at the bench.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when we saw it last year and you guys had talked, and we were just like, this is great fit. And then when we were there, we met the Brown brothers. We drank. We got to see the experience, and it was cool. And we were talking to Adam and everything, and he's always super excited about it. So, I can't say enough about it. It's definitely an affordable day for the family, and
Yeah, and speaking of affordability, this is the first year that we're actually introducing tiered pricing.
We've made it more affordable.
We're trying to make it more affordable.
nice.
So general admission is still $10. It was $10 last year. However, some of the feedback that we got from patrons was they didn't think it was fair that we were charging $10 for children as well.
Gotcha.
So we took that suggestion, and we are now offering a children's ticket price 12 and under for $7.
Nice.
So if you come as a family, you're not going to be spending $40.
Yeah.
You might spend $27 if it's you, a spouse, and a kid. Or if it's just you and a kid, $17.
Right.
But for those family 4-packs, we've also set it up so you're capping at $30 for
really?
2 adults and 2 kids. Instead of spending $34, you're saving $4 and just spending $30 per day. So you could always go the full weekend, and even that's an additional savings. So if you wanted to go both Saturday and Sunday, you're spending $55 for the family. That you can't go to dinner on that.
Yeah, it's great that you cap it out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish some of the fairs would do that.
Yeah. Being on the board of directors for the Woodstock Fair, we talk about that quite often.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm going to put on my other hat right now. The biggest hurdle for ticket pricing isn't necessarily getting you through the gate.
It's the insurance, isn't it?
It's a lot of the parking.
Yeah.
And because I'm talking for the Woodstock Fair, I can't talk for anybody else. The Woodstock Fair doesn't have any parking. It's all the local farms.
Right.
And so they don't really have a say
in how
in
much,
how
they
much
charge
it's
and stuff
charged.
like that.
Now, we do have a very close friendship with the Youngs and the Millers and all the surrounding properties. And we have a really great working relationship with them. So there is a conversation. But unfortunately, when it comes to pricing for parking, it's pretty much up to the farms.
Right. And, be as it may, if you think it's expensive, one thing I'll say is kind of get in the mindset of you're helping out farm.
Correct.
People that make food all the other 361 days of the year. So, kudos to them for all that. I just remember we knew a gentleman that parked cars for years for the Brooklyn Fair, and eventually the insurance policy for that weekend got to be too expensive.
And that's one of the reasons why the farms do charge so much.
Right. Yeah.
Also, you have to remember, this is farmland.
Mm.
There's a lot of manure that is on that grass. It's not tough pack.
Right.
So as you park cars on that, they're going to cause ruts.
Yeah.
And these farms now need to
Fix it.
fix that.
Yeah.
So that's where that money's going.
Right.
It's not just trying to line somebody's pocket.
Yeah.
And so being a part of the organization, I understand that aspect of it,
Yeah.
but also having been a fairgoer for many, many years, before I was a member, it is hard to go in and spend that kind of money just to get into the gate.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And the other thing is they usually have like the young Marines and the
Yep.
Boy Scouts volunteering to help park and stuff, and they get their service hours out of it and whatnot. So there's like a lot of benefits to it.
Yep.
You know, so I just like kind of go in there with the mindset of, you know, it's a donation, it's
Yeah.
supporting local,
Absolutely.
you know, that whole aspect of it. So
So next time you go to the Woodstock Fair and you're parking at Miller's, just remember whatever he's charging. And I don't even know what it costs to park there, because quite oftentimes I arrive before the farms are open, and I don't leave until well after the fair is done. So I actually park my car on the fairgrounds. But whatever it is that they're charging, just remember it's going back to help them, and
Yeah.
it's going back to help the fair, the Ag Society, which is then turning around and giving away family 4-pack tickets to different projects and different raffles, and just trying to help the community.
nice.
Parking this weekend is free though.
Parking this weekend
It
is
is.
free.
Yeah.
And it is parking on the fairgrounds.
So it's close.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. So we'll have Brad and I will be at the fairgrounds days before the actual event kicks off, getting everything laid out, and we're gonna have paths. So you'll be entering, for those who are familiar with the fairgrounds, you'll be entering through the main gate, the gate by the concessions, the midway, where you see the big Ferris wheel every year. You'll be entering through there, and you'll loop past the old South stage,
Yep.
which is now the United Ag and Turf
Family fun area.
Yeah. And basically, you're going to go behind the old Potato Heaven booth, and we're going to be in that huge ag barn, which is just off the side of the exhibition hall. So we'll be using that, and the bingo hall that's right in front of the exhibition hall. The bingo hall being where you'll see the Chubby Dog arcade, and all the other fun stuff is going to be in the huge ag barn, with a few outdoor activities happening on the grassy field where the main stage used to be.
Okay.
We're also going to have some show cars that are going to be joining us this year, just like we had last year. We're going to have Kit from Knight Rider. We're going to have Herbie the Love Bug is going to be joining us for one of the days. They just let us know that they can only make one day. We're still trying to figure out which day that they're going to be able to make for Herbie. And then we're also going to have the
Ecto
Ecto
84.
tribute. Yeah, Ecto 84, the Ghostbusters tribute vehicle.
Oh, that was cool.
So they're going to be with us again this year. So they're going to be parked basically right in front of where Ray's Fries is usually housed. So a 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's going to be out front there too, and our 1-to-1 scale TARDIS is going to be set up on display. Right, you know, when you drive down 169, 171, that area right there, and you look at the fairgrounds and you see where it says Woodstock Fair along the
Yep,
back one of the buildings. That's where we're going to have the Ecto 1 tribute vehicle and these other cars, as well as our Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the TARDIS.
That's cool. So what is the State Puff Marshmallow Man, a blow up inflatable?
Yeah, it's
Or-
an inflatable. Yep.
That's-
Yeah, we sit there for like 20 minutes, just like. I'm kidding.
So
I'm kidding.
we had one last year at the show, and it actually belongs to the family that brought the Ecto 84.
Okay. Yeah.
And me, being the dork that I am, went out and bought one. Because why wouldn't you want a 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
And it was on sale.
It was on sale. It was like $200 off. So I was like, done. And it came on Halloween.
Wow.
And I get this text from my wife, who
Using
is
his
a
full
teacher.
legal name.
using my full legal name. What is this on the front porch? I'm
The
like,
box must have been enormous.
I don't know. It must. I don't know. And so I finally fessed up and was like, well, it's a 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And she was not very happy about that one. And so she,
Mind you, they've been married for 2 months at this point. Yeah.
yeah.
Lawyers might have been called, you know.
And so, yeah, I get home from work that night and I inflated the 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on our front yard. And she was not very happy.
Because they were not expecting any trick-or-treaters where they live. And
Mm.
sure enough, now you have this well-lit Stay Puft Marshmallow Man,
People
like
wanna
towering
sit-
over
like
the
a
houses.
beacon.
Yep.
So she sends him out to go get Halloween candy. And instead
And
of
it's
being like,
Halloween, so all the candy's on sale, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I come back with $60 worth of candy.
and I'm pretty sure there's still some candy left over.
There is still some candy
Okay.
in the candy bowl.
I thought you were gonna say you were mobbed. Like, wasn't
We
enough.
actually did have way more people than we had anticipated.
Thank you, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it was more the
was the
older crowd
adults.
that enjoyed the Stay Puft than the
Yeah.
kids. But
More people were knocking on our doors. Can we take pictures with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an older movie.
Yeah.
I'm sad to say because it was
last year was
like
40 years
my-
since the initial release.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember watching them as a kid too. This is like doesn't seem like that long ago.
When he's walking out of the hotel, we came, we saw, we kicked it. I'll stop it there. I think this is a family show, so
It is.
the next word. Yeah.
We do our best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll censor ourselves. But yeah, that's such a great group of guys from SNL that branched out and did. It's just a comedic movie. It really is.
Yeah. So now talk to me. I've never really been in the Comic-Con world. Talk to me a little bit about it. It started with like comics and then kind of
So-
moved into motion picture, that kind of thing.
For us, it more started in the sci-fi realm.
Okay.
Ryan and I are really big into Star Trek. We
He had to convince me not to wear my Star Trek uniform. So
I
it
would've-
took a lot of convincing.
I would have gone the other way on that argument, just so you know.
Well, we wanted to merchandising. We wanted to have our branding on, just like you guys have your branding on. We want
Right.
to make sure that we showcase the Quiet Corner logo. So otherwise, yes, I would have been in my Star Trek uniform.
I feel like if you had a Wookiee costume, you could just put the shirt on with the Wookiee costume.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
Of course, that's Star Wars, not Star Trek.
We
That's
don't
okay.
prefer Star Wars. We both prefer Star Trek over Star Wars, but we are both big Star Wars fans as well.
And after watching your promo, I'm glad you know the difference.
Sometimes.
There was a lot of conversation.
Yeah. I know you mumbled through. Did you figure out which one that was?
What do you mean? That's Star Trek, right?
That's
Yeah.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mumbled through it on your.
Oh,
on
sorry.
Your promo.
Didn't mean to- that's
I was
not-
waiting on bated breath for you to say the right one.
Yeah, or amateur speakers.
It's all good. It's all good. You were saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we started with a love of Star Trek. We both grew up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. From there, moved into Deep Space Nine and Voyager and the original series. And a couple of years ago, we started up the Star Trek Fan Association in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
So not only do we live and breathe for the Quiet Corner sci-fi and comic experience, but we also, our lives wrap around Star Trek. We love the ideals that Gene Roddenberry had of a better tomorrow. So that is really what lit the flame for us. We also did love comics when we were little. I was a Superman fan. He was a Batman fan.
Superman.
Yeah. Not really big into Spider-Man, but you know,
He's terrified of spiders.
yeah.
I never even thought of it that way. Not that I have any kind of arachnophobia.
No, I think our older brother was big into spiders.
Yeah, I think Barry, yeah. And you got a Superman mug up there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Right
discriminate.
next to Snoopy, which we'll get to that in a few
Yeah.
minutes too.
So yeah, it really started with Star Trek, with a sprinkling of Superman and Batman, and that's what turned into this.
Yeah, nice. So it's kind of all encompassing.
Yeah.
So now, what do you mean by we'll get to Snoopy? Can we get to Snoopy? I like. To
Well,
watch
yeah,
Snoopy.
because I know you have your little Captain Snoopy up there. It says
Yeah.
"World's Best." I can't read the last word. Need new glasses.
Skipper.
World's
So-
Best Skipper. Okay.
So my dad was a junior, and they called him Skip. his whole
Okay.
life. So that whole shelf is kind of a tribute to my dad.
Gotcha. That's
Stuff that he
good.
made in. So the metal pieces you see up there
Mhm.
are he made in Plainfield shop class in Plainfield High School
really.
in the 70s, early 70s.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, they definitely turned out some different work in high school back then.
Let me just re-angle this camera so we can show what we're talking about right here. Yeah.
Make them want to come on.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
It's the behind the scenes
I was
stuff
gonna
that you
say
will
next
only
time, yeah.
see if you're sitting at this table. But,
Yeah, right.
So Snoopy kind of leads us to one of our celebrity guests. And we have one of the original voice actors for Charlie Brown. He started in Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown. His name is Duncan Watson. And yeah, Ryan's
don't
got
know
a
if you
picture
can,
right there.
That camera.
That one?
Yeah.
Kind of on it.
Right there. It's a little out of focus, and I was a little off mic. But that's Duncan Watson, and here's a quick audio clip of what he sounded like in Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown.
Here, let me show you. You get a piece of paper, fold it, and cut out a heart like this. I'd give anything if that little red-haired girl had sent me a Valentine. Hey, maybe she did send me one. Maybe she did send me a Valentine, and it didn't get here till today. Maybe it's in our mailbox right now.
That's some optimistic
I'm afraid
thinking.
to look. If I look and there's nothing there, I'll be crushed. On the other hand, if she did send me a Valentine, I've got to look.
He's got to look.
So Duncan Watson is going to be joining us. He'll be signing. He'll be taking photos. He also wrote a book.
Oh.
This book right here, Everyone's Trash. He's actually a municipal worker
Move my hand out of
at
the
a
shot for you.
in a small town in New Hampshire, and he basically is a trash collector.
Yeah, let me read the.
You read his bio, yeah.
Well, no, I was going to read like the first line
Oh.
of chapter 1. It says, "It wasn't like I inspired to work at the dump. My motivation at first was very simple. You got to pay me to break glass. This was a major job perk for a 12-year-old."
Ah.
So he started in California, and now he's in New Hampshire. And his book's Everyone's Trash: One Man Against 1.6 billion pounds. So he's going to have copies of this book to sign at his table. Like Brad was saying, we're going to have some photo opportunities with Duncan Watson. Being a little creative on our side, we've actually made the Snoopy house that you see in all the Charles Schultz
yeah.
graphics, cartoons, cartoon strips, and we have a extra large plush Snoopy that we're going to lay on top of it, so that for the photos you can get in there. It's going to be a specialty photo that you can get with Snoopy on top of his doghouse and the voice actor of Charlie Brown himself. We were hoping to have the lady who had played Lucy coming this year, but she had to back out because she just had her first grandchild. So congratulations to her.
Yeah.
And so she was not able to make it, but hopefully when we're talking about next year or subsequent years, we'll be able to have her on the show as well. And yeah, just they're fun people. They really are fun people.
That's great. And you have another celebrity.
Yes,
voice
we
actor
do.
coming.
So you mentioned your admiration for Star Wars. Did you ever watch the Clone Wars?
I actually did.
All
I
right,
did.
so you
Yep.
might be familiar with this guy.
Robin, so good to see you, my boy. It is? Of course! If you're here, my old pal Batman must be close by. You're a Jedi, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I had it.
You
You
asked.
changed it.
Before the war, I was always told Jedi were good.
And now?
I don't know anymore. There are a lot of terrible things happening. A lot of killing. And now my friends are saying the Jedi are to blame. You were supposed to follow them and not interfere. I'm sorry. They just caught us by surprise. Now his accomplice is asking questions about you. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take.
So that's Jason Spezek, best known for his role as Silco in Netflix's Arcane. That was that last part of that audio clip. But you also heard him as Lux Bonteri from Star Trek Clone Wars, where he's talking to
Star Wars, Clone Wars,
What did I say?
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
No.
Oh man, I've been up
Demoted.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be the first one to do that.
I've been working all day. Star Wars, Clone Wars, where he was there talking with Ahsoka. And you also heard him in as the Joker in Justice League.
The Crisis on
Yep.
Infinite Earths Part 3, it looks
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Was that an animated movie?
That was animated. Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay.
He has been in a lot of other things, but those are some of the ones that he's best known for. He does a lot of voice acting for video games, especially. But we are looking forward to having Jason Spezak joining us as well. He'll be signing, he'll be taking photos, and again, we will have a professional photo booth for him as well.
Nice.
No
Nice.
Snoopy Doghouse for him though.
So you have celebrities coming. You've got the arcade from Chubby Dog. What are the vendors like? You having craft vendors? What other types of vendors do you have?
Yeah, we have we're with let's start with food trucks, by the way.
Okay.
Because everyone
yeah.
loves a food
Oh,
truck.
yeah.
Before we go inside, we're gonna start with the food because it's dinner time. Let's talk food, right?
Right.
So we have quite a few good food trucks coming. We have Max Catering out of Thompson, I believe. They're going to be with us on Saturday, and they have everything Americana. Their menu looks absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to just sampling everything
Nice.
over the weekend. I'm already fat. I'm going to be a lot fatter by the end of the weekend. Balancing out the Max Catering on Saturday, we have Wicked Sinister Smokehouse
Oh,
coming on Sunday. So
he's been here.
Yes, yes, he's going to be slow cooking his menu at the fairgrounds after everything is closed on Saturday. So we're going to be. He might not have a menu when he opens up on Sunday because
Yeah.
we'll be there with fork, knife, and bib. So looking forward to what he's offering on Sunday. We're having Traveling Tom's Coffee truck. They're going to be with us both days. They do specialty non-alcoholic drinks, a lot of coffees, a lot of drinks that you'd see at like a coffee house, different frappuccinos and things like that. And then Indulged by Palazzo for the sweet tooth in the family. They're going to have mini donuts. They're going to have cookies, breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast sandwiches will be in the morning, but their cookies and their mini donuts are going to be all day long. And just looking at their menu again, like I'm gaining weight just looking at their menu. So, when you go inside. Yeah, we have a lot of great vendors in addition to amazing comic book authors, publishers.
Mhm.
TC Ford and Bob Sidaro have been with us since year one, since 2020, and they're back yet again with all the stuff that they put out. Absolutely amazing. We have a full lineup of different comic book authors and writers. Same thing with, as I was mentioned before, the fiction pieces, time travel, you name it. It's amazing who we have coming. Then we have the actual vendors, the collectibles. One of the things that has been said year after year, people want to see more of those dollar comics or $5 comics.
Yep.
Those big boxes,
Yeah.
like not just regular bankers boxes, but like larger, that are filled with comics that you can go through and try to find that one specialty comic that you haven't been able to find anywhere else. That's what we're hoping to have at our show. We have quite a few different groups coming, including right here just down the road a little bit from you guys in Danielson, Uncanny Collectibles. They've been with us
Oh, nice.
every year so far, and they're going to be setting up their collectibles area as well as comic books and everything there too. So it's the list is endless. Well, not endless, is like 50, but pretty close to endless as it
Right.
comes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a lot.
Yeah.
50 vendors. That's quite a.
And yeah,
Quite a
to
bit.
be able to go in there and just shop to your heart's content. We have people who make just random knickknacks or one of a kind items you're not going to find anywhere else. It's not just comic books. It's not your standard collectibles. We have people who make specialty items that are going to be on site all weekend, offering up their wares for you to look at and be like, you know what? I didn't know I needed that in my life until right now.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a something for everyone type of event.
Yeah.
And that's really awesome. What about your sponsors? I know Woodstock Inn.
Yep.
is
The Inn at
your-
Woodstock Hill is our title sponsor.
Yeah.
So we have been working with them to offer room and board to the people that are traveling in.
Yeah.
So forgive me if I misspeak here, but there should be a coupon code.
Yeah,
that-
when you register for a room at the inn, and hopefully there's still room left. Last time I looked, he was very short on space remaining.
Nice.
But when you register, you don't put it in when if you're going on the website, but if you call in or when you're there signing in for your stay, you can let the front desk know that you're there for the quiet corner, and there is a discount that's available to people who are staying. So
Oh, that's awesome.
we have people coming in from all over the place. In addition to our celebrities, we have some cosplayers. Mick Heretic is one that's coming from New Jersey. She does amazing cosplay, including Transformers. She has
Oh.
these amazing Transformer costumes that she has.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, she
Yep.
does Fantastic
okay.
Four. So amazing outfits that they have. We also have our cosplay coordinator who's joining us this year. Her name is Kendall, and she's from just down the road, just outside Brooklyn. So she's a local girl, and she goes all over the place. Loves to do cosplay, and so she's going to be overseeing our cosplay contests. We're having 2 contests each day, one for adults and one for children, and we have great prizes that have been donated to us, or we did have to buy some of the prizes, but we were more than happy to do so. So we have for first prize for adults, we have gift certificates to Grill 37.
Hey.
Yeah. For second prize, we have gift certificates to the Chubby Dog. So trying to
Nice.
keep things local.
Yeah.
For the
love it.
kids, we have for first prize, Brad, what's for first prize?
Family 4-pack of tickets to the Woodstock Fair.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
And then for second prize, we have tickets to not tickets, but a gift certificate to Nikki's Doghouse, who is also one of our sponsors. A big shout out to our sponsors. We have a great team of people, not just the Inn at Woodstock Hill. They're our title sponsor. They've done amazing things for us, getting this so that we could make this a 2-day show. But they've invested a lot in our show, which we greatly appreciate. But we've also had sponsors that have invested substantially less, but every penny makes a difference.
Right.
That smaller sponsorship has allowed us to do the advertising that we want to do. Put ads on WINY, put ads in
The Shopper's Guide.
Shopper's Guide, things like that. So
Nice.
we can continue to promote local, put our money back in here, thanks to the sponsors like Nikki's Doghouse, like Rawson's Materials, as we already talked about. Chase Graphics, they do all our printing for us.
Nice.
And so that's why they have the Chase Graphics podcast studio. Printing is not cheap,
No.
especially the stuff that we have them printing. So Jen Bertowski over there at Chase Graphics, a big shout out to her. She is absolutely amazing. She's
awesome.
And a visionary. She's so good at what she does. The whole team is. The St. Jeans are great. What they do behind the scenes, but having Jen right up there at the front line, taking the orders and helping you, she makes you feel like you are her only customer.
Right.
We all know we're not.
Wait,
see
we're
that,
not her
yeah.
only customer? I thought she was just sitting there waiting for us to send her more stuff.
Like the email I got back from her today. I saw it. Looks good. Thanks. No, we love Jen. She's amazing. And when she goes up to bat and goes up to the St. Jeans and say, "Hey, these guys again, they're looking for more stuff," and the St. Jeans say, "Yeah, we can do that. Thank you, guys. Thank you." Because their donation, even if it's not monetary, as in like here's $5, here's $100, here's $500, in kind donations go just as far, if not further, because that allows us to take the $100, $500 that we are getting and put that back into the community, put that into advertising on WINY, put that into advertising on the Shopper's Guide or in the Turnpike Buyer. It enables us to bring in the celebrity guests because, yeah, we have to pay these people to be here.
Yeah.
They're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. They're all very kind. Don't get me wrong, they are, but it is a financial transaction getting
sure.
these
Yeah.
people here. So our sponsors. We're very, very grateful to our
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah, shout out to Chase Graphics for even for what they do for. I work side by side with them through Fire and Ice, and they are just like so crucial.
Absolutely.
In that event, and they do such a great job. So much effort that they put back into the community, and so many volunteer hours and the whole bit. So yeah, definitely. It's wild how successful these events can be. Tapping into our local, strengths, our local people that are just so able and willing to put back into it. Put that effort in because it just makes us stronger as a community.
And not only do we have that great group of people that are backing our show, but we also have other local events that have come on board to partner with us as well. On Saturday, there's the Woodstock Marathon,
Oh, nice.
which is going to be closing a lot of roads in North Woodstock, so runners can get in a quick 26.2 miles. Well,
Quick.
we reached out to them.
Don't worry, he's doing shading for that video too.
We reached out to them to find out if there was anything that they need as a partner in the town of Woodstock.
Mhm.
And we decided that it would be easiest for them and easiest for us if we offered all of their runners a discount to be able to come to our show. So in everybody's swag bag that runs the Woodstock Marathon, there will be a $3 voucher. So
Oh, nice.
it will be good for any adult ticket.
Yeah.
$3 off any adult ticket, meaning you're basically paying the rate of a youth ticket. But it's our way of saying thank you to the community and engaging with other aspects of the town that are going to be using the same space at the same time that we are. And we're just trying to be friendly with them, and they've been very friendly back. And they've been promoting our show as much as we've been promoting theirs. So
Nice. Yeah.
we are really looking forward to saying good luck on your race and welcome to the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience once you've crossed that finish line.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. And not a minute before.
Well, you can deviate a little bit, but we're in South Woodstock. You're going to be running through North Woodstock, so it's going to add a few miles.
That path they have for the marathon, I actually
There's
was
a lot of hills in Woodstock.
You want to talk about Heartbreak Hill? There's a lot of those in North Woodstock.
Yeah.
yeah.
Big
I actually-
Hollow Road.
When I was much thinner and much younger, I was a runner, and I've never done a marathon. I've done a half marathon, but I look at their path, and just going down Rocky Hill Road over towards 171. Thank God they're going down Rocky Hill Road, but if I remember seeing it correctly, they're going up. What's the name of that road right off of heading back towards Bigelow Hollow that way? I can't
Oh
think
yeah,
of-
that's
I can't think of it.
I can't think of it either.
Coatney?
Is it
Coatney Hill Road?
No, I don't think so. Long story short, there's a
Yeah.
big hill.
Yeah.
There is a big hill. I remember bicycling
Hill.
that as a kid and falling and nearly destroying my bike.
Bradford Corner.
Yeah,
Oh,
head
okay,
towards Bradford Corner. Yeah.
I should remember that one.
Lots of hills going through Woodstock.
Yeah,
and
kudos
so
to the runners.
they'll be probably walking in with like rubber knees or something. To, let me look around. Let me get some of those burgers.
You'd be surprised. Like the gentleman that won for the men's race today did it in just over 2 hours, 2 hours, 3 minutes or something like that.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah,
That's like 13 miles an hour.
I know.
Yeah.
that's incredible.
That's like a sprint for 2 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, wow.
More power to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome to see the collaboration, with them and seeing all the different sponsors that sponsor all the other events as well and help out through all these different events. That's we're constantly saying volunteer local.
Absolutely.
Do what you can when you can.
That's what I love
Such a
about
good thing.
Northeastern Connecticut. Even though I reside down in the New London area, every time I'm not at work, I'm up in Woodstock. I'm up in Putnam. I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm
Chubby
all over the
Dog.
place. I'm at Chubby Dog. Yeah, quite regularly.
At Nikki's Doghouse.
Yeah, Nikki's Doghouse. As you can tell, on Saturday nights.
Body
Adam,
by Nikki's. Powered by Chubby Dog.
Yeah. We put the chubby. Yeah. Adam will probably be happy that I promote this, but on Saturday nights he does karaoke
Yep.
over at the Danielson Chubby Dog.
Yeah.
It's actually an open mic. So if you want to get up there and
That is true. That is true.
do other things.
I usually get up there and sing, and I have some of our Star Trek fan members, our crew, will get up there and we'll just have a good time, and
sure.
they'll be drinking. It's crazy. I act like I'm drunk, but I have only water in my system. So yeah,
That's my excuse too.
yeah.
Hey, there's only water in this. Delicious water.
But yeah,
Shout out
filtered
to-
water, filtered.
Shout out to Taylor Brook Brewery.
Yeah.
Their Rip Rap Imperial Stout.
Delicious.
Very good. Very good.
Sláinte.
But yeah, that's what I truly love about Northeastern Connecticut is it is a community that sticks together. There's always something happening. That our weekend, this upcoming weekend, is chock-a-block full of different events, like the Woodstock Marathon. You have Putnam's Beautification Day on Saturday. Then you have their International Day on Sunday. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
And I know we're trying to grab a small part of that pie. We want people to have fun. And that seems to be a common theme throughout the area.
Right.
Even here in Brooklyn, in Danielson. You look at the holiday season, all that happens down on Main Street in Danielson, or you look at the Halloween Fright Night that happens over at the Woodstock Fairgrounds, as they call it, in October. Excuse me, the Brooklyn Fairgrounds.
I was gonna
Brooklyn,
say.
sorry. Star Trek versus Star Wars. So
Yeah, the Brooklyn Fairgrounds and then the Brooklyn Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It's the fair. Yep.
it's amazing how much there is to do and how much the community supports the community.
Right.
And to see the Putnam Business Association put on so many great events, they've run out of time for as many ideas as they have. I'm helping out with their Superhero Saturday, which is happening 3 weeks after the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience, and they have some really interesting attractions coming this year. And we hope those who come to the Quiet Corner will also come out to Superhero Saturday. That's obviously a family fun event, free on Main Street. Ours, yes, as we talked about, there's a general admission, but you'll see why we charge $10,
Right.
and why we should charge more. But we've capped it at $10. And again, full circle here, thanks to our sponsors that have allowed us to keep it as affordable as we have.
Right.
You're not going to go wrong going to
Yeah.
the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience.
Yeah.
You guys were there last year, as we've talked about. It's a fun time. It's definitely a fun time. You don't have to be a nerd. You don't have to be a geek.
This is true.
You can just, if you liked comic books as a kid, head on down to the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience. If you want to find one of a kind items, come down to the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience.
Even if you just like reading, not all the books that we have there are comics. We've got some fantasy books, we've got fiction books, and we've got some historical fiction, as Ryan said about the Witches of Windsor. But also, it's not just reading. We've got music too.
Yeah.
There's a Zach Anderson musician, Zach Anderson music. He'll be performing on Saturday. He'll be on the Chase. We're kind of rebranding it. It's no longer just the Chase Graphics podcast studio, even though that's what it says on the banner. It's now the Chase Graphics stage, because we're going to try to incorporate more than just podcasts onto that stage. So Zach will be performing at 10:30 and 2:30 on, that's a dentist's favorite time, on Saturday. And then we've got the photo ops throughout the day, 11:30 and 2:30 for Jason Spizik, 12:30 and 3:45 for Duncan Watson. And then the Duncan Watson special with the Snoopy and the Snoopy's Doghouse are 12:45 and 3:30. Ryan already mentioned the cosplay contests. On Saturday, the youth contest is at noon and the adult contest is at 4. And then the Browning Brothers podcast will be on the Chase Graphics studio at 1 o'clock doing their podcast. So we're trying to open it up as much as possible for those of you that want Dungeons and Dragons, tongue twister. they'll be in the Chubby Dog Arcade at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then we open the Chubby Dog Arcade at 10 a.m. the next morning with Magic the Gathering. There's so much that you can do just at the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic Experience over the 2 days. The photo ops are the same times on Sunday as they are on Saturday. And then we have Soaring Sam coming back. She was a huge hit last year.
This girl does aerial acrobatics. She's like 25 feet in the air, hanging from ribbons, and she's still, pardon the expression, she's still a kid. She's like, I think 19 or 20 now, and just it's absolutely amazing that she gets up on these ribbons and does aerial acrobatics.
She's doing 3 shows at 11:45, 1, and 3, and you gotta watch her. She's amazing. We had her at the Woodstock Fair as well. Mark saw her at our show last year, and he was like, "I've got the perfect spot for you to perform." And he had her at the United Ag and Turf Fabulous Family Fun area. And then we have another podcaster coming in who just contacted Ryan and me a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I heard about your show.
He's originally from Los Angeles area. If it's the one I'm thinking of, he's originally from Los Angeles.
I heard about your show. I want to be involved." And he is his podcast is called Nerd Talk.
Yep.
He reached out to us and we're like, "Yeah, we would love to have you on board." So he's going to be with us doing a podcast on Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Chase Graphics studio.
I stand corrected. So Rule of 3 was the guy from California. He's in the collectibles area.
Correct.
So he's from California. Yeah, Nerd Talk he's a lot more local. But yeah, just a different podcaster that we haven't had in the past, and we're excited to have him at our show.
And again, a second round of cosplay contest. We've got 1 round each day. Adults are at noon this time, and youth are at 4 p.m. this time on Sunday.
Nerd Talk reached out on social media to us.
Awesome.
And we just followed each other.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Seems like a pretty cool thing.
We've chatted a little bit. Haven't gotten really too deep into the weeds with him, but all the interaction we've had so far have been awesome. He seems like a really great guy, and we're really looking forward to having him.
And is he going to be broadcasting as well?
I do believe he plans to do his podcast on Sunday live.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, we haven't finalized anything with him yet, but that's fingers crossed on that one.
Right.
And aside from the comics, aside from the novels and the books and everything, the collectibles, we have people who are coming who are artists. Last year we had this young lady. She goes by the name Mouse, and once you meet her, you'll understand why she's called Mouse. But she does amazing artwork, amazing artwork, and it's her slogan is Art by Mouse. And we have just different artists. We have Bug Juice Inc., who actually does tattoo art, so they're going to be at our show showcasing different art that they've done as well. We have Hero Arts, which does contemporary artwork. So it's as we said, a little bit for everyone.
Right.
You don't have to be just in it for the Superman or the Batman or the Wonder Woman. You name it, we're trying to have it at our show.
Yeah.
So
we're
having fun.
I think even before you guys got here, we were talking about the nerd thing. And, it just seems like everybody has their own nerd thing. You know what I mean? As far as the expression goes, it's just something that you get passionate about and you learn a lot about it. And then
I couldn't tell that you have any nerdness in being down here.
you take a subject or whatever, and you just start learning more than the average person would know. And then it just kind of becomes your nerd thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while, it was woodworking with me. If that's what you're looking at.
Well, growing up in the 90s, growing up in the early aughts, I assume you guys were in this situation too. Back then, it wasn't cool to be a nerd. Like it was, let's dunk their head in the toilet and give them a flushie or something.
Either or too. Like
Yeah.
if you were athletic, you
were a
nerd.
jock.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's cool to be both.
Yeah.
It's cool to be a nerd. It's cool to be a jock. And there's they meld nicely because, as you were saying, a jock can be a nerd.
Yeah.
A jock can be a nerd about jock stuff.
Right, like any subject, it's not really just like math and science, the typical nerd.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not the
the-
push up your
the,
glasses.
yeah, the Steve Urkels
Yeah.
of the 80s
Can I
and
do
90s. And now it's more of and shout out to Big Bang Theory.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Not only was it funny, but they they kind of made it like a cool thing to kind of just be who you want to be, and it'll
And the nerd gets the
it'll
hot
work
girl?
out. I don't know about that all the time, but
I'm still trying. Yeah. The whole universe was in a hot, dense state. I won't go all the way. Save that for Saturday at karaoke at Chubby Dog. Yeah.
yeah, that was actually one of my favorite bands growing up. So,
Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
yeah. We try not to talk about that here. PG-13, remember?
Yeah. Well, that's still a good song. It's family friendly. That is one thing that I like to promote as well for our show. It is a family friendly show. We want everyone who's coming to realize that yes, it is at the end of the day a family friendly show. So those who are doing the cosplay contest, we do ask that you're covered up.
It's
not
appropriate to be in public.
exactly.
Yep.
We're not we're not doing an OnlyFans show. We're doing a full family show.
Might be
here,
your
so.
last one if you
Yeah.
were.
It's the oscillating fans. You know? So who knows? We might actually get a different type of crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to cosplayers, we do ask that if there is a weapon involved in your cosplay, please make sure that it's not a real weapon. No real knives,
okay.
no real guns. It can be a fake gun, it can be a phaser, it can be any plastic gun as long as it's got the orange tip on it
And it looks
fake.
fake.
Right.
No knives. We're requesting no blunted swords even. Keep it safe. That's what we want. We want this to be a fun family outing that's safe for everyone. And I'm sorry, we're not there to be policing people. We're there to have a good time too. So don't make us into the bad guy and say, "Hey, can you please put something else on or cover yourself up or go put that whatever it is back in your car." If you're one of the anime lovers and you're carrying around one of the 10-foot high lances that some of these characters have, that's fine, but it needs to clearly be a fake weapon.
Right.
Something that won't injure anybody.
Yeah.
If you're a Star Trek fan and you're carrying around a phaser, a lot of phasers look like a fake weapon. But you go back to the original series and you have one that looks like an actual gun. Make sure it has an orange tip, or please just leave it at home. Do something that can make your costume stand out without having to worry about a real weapon.
Yeah, a real weapon isn't going to make or break your number one place in the cosplay contest.
We do cosplay. I have so many different costumes. Brad and I each have these really cool CSI vests from CSI back in 2001, the original Vegas CSI, and I love cosplaying in that. And you have the handcuffs, you have the medical gloves, you have the flashlight, and yeah, in CSI they carried weapons. There's no need. Having a gun in a holster doesn't increase or decrease the quality of accuracy of the costume. So you can get away without having that on there. Quick funny story. We're also big Power Rangers fans. Maybe me a little bit more than he is.
Oh,
Much
boy.
like
I was always a Blue Ranger fan.
Oh boy,
I
you
like-
guys shouldn't be here.
I like the Red Ranger. We'll go to have this conversation with Adam because as anyone who goes into Chubby Dog knows, Adam is a huge Power Rangers fan.
Yeah, well, the Ninja Turtles kick all your butts.
Well, I love the Ninja Turtles too.
I was a
So.
Donatello fan. So just saying.
Michelangelo. Yeah. But so a few years ago, we this isn't the only convention that we go to. We do a lot. Our Star Trek fan group does Terrificon every year. We've been at Rhode Island Comic Con, so we're not limited to just the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and
For
Comic
sure,
Experience.
for sure.
Yes, this is the one that we put on, but we do participate in much larger conventions. And a few years ago, shortly, mere weeks before he passed away, Jason David Frank, who played the White Ranger and the Green Ranger in the original Power Rangers, he also played other colors throughout the years. He was at the Rhode Island Comic Con, and I have this amazing 1-to-1 scale White Ranger helmet. And I brought it to his table to have him autograph it. So when you get to his table, his handler's like, well, if you want to have your picture taken with him, it's an extra $20. I'm like, as much as I would love to have a picture with Jason David Frank, I'm going to forego it. I brought the amount of money I needed to pay for this autograph. That's what it is. So we stand in line. We get to him. We hand over the helmet. Brad and I are there. And I have a tendency to speak before I think.
Oh,
Go figure.
You're in good
I'll,
company.
I'll say something in my head that sounds a lot more innocuous than as it comes out. So I hand over this amazing, gorgeous White Ranger helmet, and he goes to start signing the very top where the seam is, because the helmet clips on. You have a seam here, and it clips face down, so your face is always covered. And so he goes to start signing right at the seam. I go, no, can I have it on the mouth, please? He stops and looks at me, and I look horrified back at him. And I'm like, the mouth. I'm like, great. So he bursts out laughing. He's like, in all the years I've been doing this, 20 plus years I've been doing this, no one has ever asked me to give it to them on the mouth before. And I'm like, well, thanks for letting me be that person. Thanks. So of course he's like, I want to have a picture taken with you. So we had our picture, and we were actually in our CSI outfits at
there
the
it
time.
is.
Oh, that's cool.
So Brad,
Sit down over there.
want to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right
There
there.
it is.
So
A
sadly,
lot of focus, but
that was
you can make it out.
that was about 2 weeks before he passed away.
Oh wow.
So everyone
wow.
everyone makes light of me killing the White Ranger.
Oh, jeez.
So amazing gentleman. His daughter has carried on his legacy. She goes to a lot of conventions too. We tried to get her to this year's show, but we just couldn't get it to meld with her schedule. So the invite is open for whenever she wants to come out to
Right.
Woodstock. She is welcome to come to any of our show. We've had Stevie Oakes, who is a real life Peter Griffin. He's Rhode Island's very own Peter Griffin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He couldn't make our show this year. He was already booked for another event, but he goes around to different conventions. Hilarious guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he sounds just like him. Everything.
I'm glad he sounds like him, because he's doing this weight loss program, and kudos to him. He's lost
200 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So-
in a year, he had started just before our show last year, and he was struggling to. He wanted to eat so much that was on the menu, because, as you guys remember, we had a special menu for it since it was hosted at the grill. But he was really good, and he didn't eat anything.
Yeah.
And in the subsequent months, he's just shy of 200 pounds.
Wow.
So shout out to him. Like
Yeah. Good for him.
the program, he's stuck to it. He's given the willpower, and like I'm in awe. But how he can be Peter Griffin outside the voice. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to get a new 9 to 5, because you're just
They make fat suits.
they do, and I think there's some scenes in Family Guy of its history that has a thin Peter Griffin too. So, but yeah, just amazing. If you get the chance to see him or look him up on YouTube or on Google, just Google Rhode Island's very own Peter Griffin. His name is Stevie Oakes.
Yeah.
And,
he's had some viral videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen, for sure.
So
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he
Great
really is.
guy.
And the show itself is just a comedic marvel.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, just a funny show.
They actually reference him in one episode.
Oh really?
Yeah. So Peter is talking to Quagmire, and Quagmire says something about, "Oh, I saw you at the Red Sox game," and and Peter responds to Quagmire, "No, that's just the guy that looks like me that lives in Rhode Island."
Oh, okay. That's good.
That's pretty funny.
That's cool.
So long and short of it too here is, you meet so many interesting people.
For sure.
You really do. We're fortunate to meet these people in a different capacity as the organizers of the Quiet Corner Sci-Fi and Comic
Right.
Experience, but as patrons, as people going to the show, you get to before I finish that sentence, one of the nice things about being a small convention as we are, we're not the size of a Rhode Island Comic Con or a San Diego Comic Con, where you're surrounded by hundreds or thousands of people trying to get the same autograph you're trying to get. When you come to our show, you get that one-on-one time. You get to talk to these people. You get to talk with Duncan Watson about his book, about what it was like to be Charlie Brown, how many hours he had to be behind the microphone to get those lines across. You can talk to him. You can talk to him about what it's like to work as a municipal worker. And so we all have our 9 to 5s. His is now the municipal worker. So that brings in people who work doing trash runs or street cleaners, whatever you do. You don't have to just be someone who likes the Batmans and the Supermans, like we said earlier.
Right.
It's really geared for everyone. And being that small town Comic-Con, you get the opportunity to have that conversation a little bit longer than if you were going to one of these big city Comic-Cons.
Right. That's awesome. I'm really proud of you guys for doing this.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
it's really a cool thing to incorporate so many locals in what you do, and I can't say enough for events like this. That just
And the fact that we're able to share that with you guys as well and come on your show, which you guys are doing an amazing job
thank
at spreading community word as well, and promoting different events and different organizations in the community. Without people like you guys, where would we be? So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're stumbling our way through the podcast world.
you're doing a
and-
great job.
Yeah, you say that, but like Brad said, you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
And we were joking earlier about your promo, but
Although remember, they did ask if they were going to have time to say much.
that's true. That is true.
And I think we covered that base quite nicely.
Yeah. Okay, so we're camera hogs. Okay.
Well, you guys are very well spoken, and it just it's a kind of a shout out to you how much you know about your craft and about what you're doing, and you guys just articulate it so well. So
And it's about you, not us.
yeah, it makes
You're
makes
just a
our job
vessel.
easy.
Well,
So-
everyone remembers the Johnny Carsons and the David Lettermans, the Jay Lenos as the hosts of late night TV, but they don't always remember who the guest was. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to tune in to see that person," or "Hey, wasn't that a great skit that this person did?" But you guys are the Jay Lenos, the David Lettermans, the
Jeez.
Yeah. Thank you.
High praise. High praise.
well, let me finish the sentence. You're the Jay Lenos and the David Lettermans of this basement.
That's very fair.
That's very fair. Still high praise.
Yeah, playing off his usual riff that he says at the top of the show. I might have done some research before coming in tonight.
Number
Yeah.
one podcast in my basement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So thanks for coming on. You guys are always welcome at the bench. And thanks for promoting so much local stuff. I just think Northeast Connecticut gets overlooked a lot, and kudos to you guys for putting us on the map.
That's where it got the name Quiet Corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We want the Quiet Corner to be anything but quiet this weekend. We always say experience the experience. And the experience isn't just what's happening at the fairgrounds from 10 to 5 on Saturday and on Sunday, but that's where we want you to be.
Yeah.
And there's so much to experience in Northeastern Connecticut. We want you to see what you have right in your backyard. And that's this extremely fun time.
An extremely talented backyard too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we're always uncovering these gems. Of
It's
talent.
amazing.
It's so great.
Like, why did it take all of us so long to find out what's right in our backyard?
Well, you've had places like the Little Theater on Broad Street. You have the Bradley Playhouse. And you look at the performances that come out of both of those theaters, you would think that you were going to an off-Broadway show with some of these productions. And especially like the Little Theater on Broad Street, where these are young actors and actresses putting on this show in their time of rec. It's absolutely amazing. You guys are right. There's so much to offer
Yeah.
in this area. And I can speak for myself. I'm very appreciative of the support that we've gotten from this little crazy idea we had on one October night,
Hmm.
and to see it grow to the point where we can utilize the Woodstock Fairgrounds for 2 days. And don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of planning. There's been quite a bit of time. There's a lot more grays up here than there were a year ago, and it's so much fun, and the end product is so worth it
Right.
for us on the organizing side of things that I I can't I can't put into words. I cannot articulate how happy I am that we have Northeastern Connecticut the way that it is.
Yeah.
It may be the quiet corner, but at times it really is anything but.
Hmm.
Right.
And so here's our call to action. If you want to buy tickets, they're available online. TheQCExperience.com. That's TheQCEXPER
ENC.
ENCE. I was never good at spelling. .com. COM. We do have a QR code. It's going to be out of focus, I think, so it might not work. But we do have a QR code there. We
Looking
have
at the little
posters.
Vandy monitor over there to make sure that I'm getting it in the shot.
we do have posters up in a few locations that also have that QR code. So if you see the poster, just scan it. You can buy the tickets right there. Tickets are also available at the door. So come on down, see us, and get your tickets for Saturday, for Sunday, whatever you want.
Mhm.
It's 10 to 5 both days, but come on down.
Awesome.
Awesome.
You're not coming down to support Brad and me. That's not what we're asking. We're asking you to come on down and support the local artists, the people who have put their hard work and time, effort, energy into writing these amazing books, painting these amazing paintings, writing these amazing songs, doing what they do, creating these amazing one-of-a-kind items. Come support them. Brad and I, at the end of the day, this is what we love to do.
Sure.
But come support local.
Can definitely see it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
It's,
guys.
April 26th and 27th.
From 10 to 5 at the Woodstock Fairgrounds.
Awesome.
In the words of our good friend, Mr. Spock, peace and long life.
Can
Live
Kyle
while you
do it?
prosper.
No,
Can you
I
do it?
can't
You
do
can't do it.
He's doing it at the control board over there. I see it from here.
I need something to hold one of the things.
Thanks for watching, everybody. The Community Workbench families are having their annual Spread the Love campaign. Please donate what you can, when you can. Spread the love. Even the cost of a coffee can go so far in all of these different pantries around the area. Just Google food pantry, and you'll find one near you. Join us again Monday night at 6, April 28th, when we talk to Brooklyn Cares Community Center, one of the food pantries that we are very supportive of. They're fairly new, and they've received a lot of support already, but we got to keep that going so that the people in need can really benefit from there. And we're going to have their, I think, president, vice president on. I may be wrong about that, but we have a couple or three coming, and we're going to learn all about the Brooklyn Cares community. So we'll see you Monday at 6. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, cosplay locally. Have great days, everybody.